and then I'm going to start. Okay. So the first one is create a user, right? So we're going to say I am. So we're going to create a user. I am, create user, and then username, Octavio. Okay, that we create a user. We come back here, and then we check our management console, and we come here to, okay. So I have to sign in as a root account, right? And then I come here to says I am, and then we see the user Octavio here, right? Now we're gonna do is give Octavio a password. So we're gonna give Octavio access to the console. So we say AWS, I am, create login profile, and then we say username Octavio, and then we say password, right? And then we say here password reset require, right? This should work. What did I miss here? Oh, I know what the problem is. It's not username, it's user dash name. All right, now it worked. Good. So now I'm gonna come here and copy this guy, right? And then I'm gonna log out from my root account, and I'm gonna paste this guy here. And then here, instead of Duniez, it's gonna be Octavio, right? And then here, let's put password. And as you can see here, Octavio is forced to reset the password. Okay. So this is working, right? Perfect. Let me sign in with my root account again. So now we're going to, now the other point, the other point is we'll still have to give Octavio programmatic console access, programmatic access, right? So how do we do that? How do we manipulate our account from the CLI? How? How, guys? You there?
I'm here.
Okay. How do we manipulate the console or our services from the CLI? What do we need to access our services from the CLI?
AWS.
So, but what do we need? What credentials do we need?
Oh, you need root.
Access keys.
Or admin. You need admin keys.
The keys. We need keys.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Remember when to do AWS config?
Yeah, you need the keys. So you need to create the keys for the user.
Right. So how do we create the keys for the user? We have to say AWS IAM
create access key.
Create access key. And then the username is, what username is it? What was the last one? Octavio, right? It's as simple as this. And then, boom, there you have the access key and the secret key.
Oh, okay? It came both?
I'm sorry?
It generate both.
I'm sorry?
It generate both the keys, right?
Both the keys? What do you mean both the keys?
Secret access key and key.
Yes, both of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the other point is we're going to create 3 groups with administrator privileges, right? So what we have to do is create a group, right? And then we're going to give it a name. What name do you want to give it? What name do you want to give it? No response?
Fun group.
Fun group, right? Like that.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay, so the fun group has been created. Now, if we come here to IAM, and I take a look at the groups, there you go, fun group. It doesn't have any user to find inside yet, right? So the next, okay, let me delete Octavio, right? Well, we'll delete Octavio later because I mean, people watching this video, they got a view of the keys of Octavio, so they might access my account, even though Octavio doesn't have any permissions yet. But you know how it works. Okay, so create group. Now we have to do is attach a policy that gives this group permissions for everything. Let's say that this fun group is administrators, is for people that have access to everything. So what we have to do is just AWS IAM attach group policy, right? And then the name of the group is group fun, or fun group, I'm sorry. Right? And then we have to find what ARN this policy has. Right? So we have to come here and take a look at the policies. And then we'll look for full access. Let's say administrator, probably. Administrator access. So we click on that. You see the ARN here. So we copy this. We come here and we just paste it. And there you go. It's gone. So now if we come here to this group, it has permissions, administrator access. You see? So whatever user you put inside this group is going to have those privileges. So now what we're gonna do is add, for example, let me say, let's see what user here I can add. Probably John. Okay. I'm gonna add John to that group, to the fun group. So we say AWS IAM add user to group, and then the username is John, and then the group name is fun group. Right? So that's it. Boom, done. So we come here and we click on groups. We see that fun group has one user, and the user is John. Okay? So permission, administrator access, and users. So now John can have access to everything in AWS except billing and things like that are so important. Okay, so that one is done. So point number 3 is create three EC2 instances. So what you have to do is AWS EC2, right? Run instances, right? And then let me grab an AMI. So I can come here, come to EC2 instance, launch a new instance. Okay, Or maybe I can grab this one. I have one that is running. No, I'm not gonna have this one. I'm gonna terminate this one. Okay. And then I'm gonna create a new one. So I can grab it from here, right? And then I could come here and say image ID, copy that, right? And then to say I want to create 3, count 3. And the region what I wanted is US is 1, right? I think that if I check here, I have an availability zone option here, I guess. I don't have that here. No, there's no availability zone here. Oh. Okay. I'm missing the instance type. Okay. So we see samples here. Availability zone. Okay. 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 Not a problem. Okay. So not a problem. So I can put here and then I can say instance type T2 micro. All right. As I'm not selecting the availability zone, it will put it in the one that chosen by AWS. And also the security group is going to be the default one. Okay. So the image ID does not exist. What do you mean it does not exist? Oh. One moment. Oh, look at this. You see the region?
It's Frankfurt.
That's right. That's why I put that's. If I specify the region, it has to be one in this region. So this one has to be the one. Okay. So I'm gonna paste it now. There you go. So I created 3 instances for me. Okay. See the instances here, all the metadata. Okay. If I come here and I just choose Aws Ec2, then there should be 3 instances that have been created. But one is already created, right? And there are 2 pending, right? So the next step is print the instance information, right? So what I have to do is just say Aws Ec2 Describe Instances, right? And then I'm going to have exactly the same as I had when I created the instances. Okay. Now, if I want to create a specific instance, describe, I can copy from here. Let's say this one, I want to describe this one. I can say, and then I can say instance ID, and then this, and then describe that one only. Okay. This one only. It's only one, right? With this instance ID. All right. So step number 5 is create an autoscaling group. Okay. So that one is a little more complicated. Okay. So this one has 2 steps. We have to create first a launch configuration. which is the normal steps that you have to take when you're creating an autoscaling. And then the second step is create an autoscaling group, right? So the first one, we have to say AWS autoscaling, right? Create launch configuration, and then the name of the configuration, right? So launch configuration name, and then let's call it my configuration, my launch configuration. Okay, let's call it that way. And then of course we are creating like a skeleton for an EC2 instance, so we're going to use the same AMI, right? And then we're going to create, I'm going to put the instance type, because we are creating basically an EC2 instance, right? So let's say T2 micro, right? So we have a problem here. Yes, it's expecting AMI. So let me see here. Of course, I put the ID. It's not the ID, it's the AMI. Put the ID of the instance. That's a wrong thing that I did. Okay? Because I put the instance ID, not the AMI, image ID. Now, that's a valid one. All right, so we created the launch configuration. If we go to the dashboard and we look for launch configuration, you can see that it's here. You see, it created it for me. That's the image AMI ID, the instance type. It was created today, 25th, and this is the name. Right? So now we have the first step. Now from this launch configuration, we can create a group, an autoscaling group, right? So we can do that here. We can say, second step is we can say AWS autoscaling, and then we're gonna say create auto scaling group. Now we have to give it a name. Auto scaling group name is going to be my first auto scaling group. Okay, let me do this. Okay, now we have to identify the launch configuration that we are selecting. We are using for that. Launch configuration name, and then the name is this one here, right? So we're gonna copy it and paste it here, right? Now we have to give it a minimum size, right? Let's say 1, and we have to give it a maximum size. Let's say 3. Let's give it a health check grace period. That's the time before between health checks of 120 seconds, which is 6 minutes, right? No, not 6 minutes, 2 minutes. Am I wrong?
No, 2 minutes, right?
Okay. And then the availability zone. Zones, because you may have more than one. US, East, 1A. Don't forget that when you say here, region, US East 1, that's the region. But if it is availability zone is one US East 1A or B or C, right? So now I have created my autoscaling group. So I click this, done. If I come here and I check here in the dashboard, it says autoscaling group, instances, which you have one sometime. It's already created it. You see, the desired capacity is 1, the minimum capacity is 1, the maximum capacity is 3. Now we can edit this guy and we can say that the minimum capacity is 2. And guess what's gonna happen? It's gonna create another one for me. Okay? It's right there, creating another one for me. So one is in service and the other one's pending. And they're both created where? US East 1, right? You see how easy it is with the command line? Okay, so now we clear this. And what do we have to do now? We have to create 4 buckets. I'm gonna create only one, guys, and then you can create the other ones. Okay, so how do you create a bucket? AWS S3 make bucket, S3 column, and then you give you the bucket name, right? Well, say today's bucket, Dunieski. Okay, so I click this, boom, create it, make bucket, create it. So I come here, S3, right here. You see it? It's right here. Now, how do I list the buckets? So we say AWS S3 LS, simple as that. And then I have all the buckets here. See? So how do we delete an autoscaling group? How do we delete it? AWS autoscaling, right? Autoscaling, delete auto scaling group. Now the auto, we have to identify, right? Auto scaling group name, right? What's the name? Let me go back here to auto scaling. EC2 dashboard. Auto scaling down here. Okay, so what's the name? My first auto scaling, right? You see. Okay, so I copy here. What happened here? Oh, I know what happened. All right, I'm missing one dash here. Oh, I know. So first I need to, what I can do here is, what I can do is add one option here and say at the end, forces delete. This will delete it without waiting for the instance to terminate. Let's see if it happens. Okay, force delete. I'm sorry, not forces delete. Let's see. Let's see what happens now. So if I refresh this, it's deleting. If I go to the EC2 instances, the be shutting down, right? The configuration. Okay. Let me see if this works. This was not part of the assignment. Let's say here, auto scaling, delete, launch, configuration, launch, configuration, name, gone. So if I refresh this, it's gone. And this guy here is gone too. So the instances, they were terminated, but this guy created instances before it was terminated. So I can do, what I can do here is just, well, let me terminate one for you to see, you guys to see how I can terminate an instance. So I can come here, right? And then it says AWS EC2 terminate instances, and then we say instance ID. There you go. Current state shutting down, previous state running. So now if I just, this is shutting down now. So I can do the other ones manually. You already know how to do that. Okay, as simple as that. All right, that was the CLI part, right?
Yes.
Okay, that was the CLI part. Now the CloudFormation part. All right, you want me to go over the CloudFormation part as well?
Sure.
Yes, please.
Okay, let's do it. So let me